Hi there, it's Bullies back with a little update on how I'm going. It's going really well actually. It's going to plan. So 10 days time, I should be slowly easing back into work. I'm doing a bit of driving now, a lot more walking, physio still full on. So yeah, still uncomfortable, but hold up. You are not going to believe this. Literally, I've just put the phone down. As I started filming this video, the surgeon just phoned to book a follow-up appointment on the 14th of February just to check how I'm going. Next week, I've got to go to a physio a week today just to assess my progress. And then like a week or so later, I'm going in with the surgeon and hopefully book in for the next one. I mean, hopefully, Jesus Christ, that bloody hurt. But it needs to be done. But anyway, that's not the point of this this video. This video is probably, I'm really excited about this one because this video is, I would say without doubt, the most important part of personal growth in every area: financial, well-being, health, relationships, everything. Now, what I'm referring to is the awesome power of compounding, the awesome power of compound interest applied to not just your investments and finance, but to your life and the daily habits that you acquire. Compound interest is described, allegedly, at one point in time as the eighth wonder of the world by Albert Einstein. And that dude knew a thing or two. So let's talk about the investment side of compound interest. Now, compound interest, the easiest way to me explain it is it's interest upon interest upon interest. So if you were to invest £1,000 and it grew at 10%, at the end of that year, you would have £1,100. And then the following year, you would get interest on that interest that you were paid the previous year. Now, another way of explaining that, you may have already heard of this magic penny trick. Now, if you were offered £1 million, okay, or 1 penny a day that doubled in value each day for a month, what would you take? So let's go over that again. If I was to offer you £1 million cash now, or a penny a day that doubled in value every day for 1 month, what would you take?
So if you see, what we've got here is the magic penny that doubles in value every day. Now, exactly the same as compound interest in finance and adopting new habits in life. There's not an instant result. If you look, it ramps up really slowly, and then it gets to a certain level and it accelerates and accelerates and accelerates, just as it would do in investments and with life, with adopting good habits for bad habits. It's a very slow start and then it accelerates.
And that's a breakdown of just what you would have got if you'd have taken the penny as opposed to grabbing the £1 million. And that's quite shocking. You should find it quite shocking, the amount that's accumulated from that penny over the month. And now another more tangible example is what I've done here is I've downloaded the compound interest calculator for you, and I've sparked up what would happen if you were to invest £10,000 into a low cost Vanguard S&P 500 index fund ETF. If you just put 10 grand in there, leave it for 40 years, say you started at 20 years of age, leave it for 40 years, how much it'd be worth. And then another example of if you were to add to that for monthly for £200 a month, what the figure would be there. So there's another example here with the compound interest calculator that you will find, you should find astounding. If you don't, then there's something wrong with you, to be honest, because it's phenomenal. The power of compound interest is phenomenal.
Right, so what we've got here is I've popped compound interest calculator up on my Google on my iPhone screen. Click compound interest calculator, up she pops. Here we go. Fantastic piece of kit this. Okay, so let's just assume we're going to invest £10,000. All right, just pop £10,000 into a Vanguard low cost ETF S&P 500 index fund, and we're just going to leave it there. We're not going to contribute to it. Now we're going to put in that it's going to give us a return on investment annually of 10%. When you assume that the S&P 500 has over the last 80-90 years averaged around about an 11% return on investment. Now we're going to do this over, let's say 40 years. Let's say you're 20 years of age, so when you're 60, what will that £10,000 be worth? Just sat there 40 years. Let's hit calculate and look at that. £537,000. Look at the orange figure. That is your compound interest, what the compound interest has made on that £10,000. £527,000 you have earned using compound interest by just not doing nothing. You've done nothing. You've just left that money there to work. Now let's have another look. Here we go. If you scroll down, you can see there's a breakdown yearly of what that £10,000 has made. And if you notice, it doesn't do a great deal for the first years. It's making and gaining all the time, but it ramps up, gets to 15 years, 20 years, and it's ramping up £7,000-8,000 a year, compounding like that big money snowball. It's a big money snowball, look. And then suddenly £537,000, and you've done nothing. You've just invested that money. It's cost you nothing. It's just sat there growing. Okay, right, now let's have a look. That figure was achieved by compound interest with the money just sat there with you not adding to it. Now let's say you're going to add £200 a month to that. Okay, boom, 1.8 million. So compound interest now is £1.695 million. Earn while you sleep by just adding £200 a month to that. Okay, that is the power of compound interest. So if your mind is not blown by that, the eighth wonder of the world, you ain't right in the head, are you?
Right, now, compound interest or compounding can also be and is used widely in personal growth. Now, I've put a graph here to my right because there's a book that I've just finished listening to. I'm going to listen to it again, and it's absolutely phenomenal. And it's called The Slight Edge, and it's absolutely phenomenal. I would say it's probably the best audiobook I've listened to in relation to personal growth and compounding your life's habits. Go out and get it. Now here I've popped this graph that's in the book on there, which will hopefully explain it a little bit better than I'm trying to. But what it is, when you use compound interest or compounding in general life as opposed to used in a financial term, then compounding is basically, it's all about the habits that you adopt. 95% of people in this world are not successful. Only 5% are. But the difference being, the successful people have got good habits. The unsuccessful people have got bad habits. Now, those habits that you adopt throughout your life are passed down through generations of your family. It's called a belief system. Now, within the belief system that's been handed down to you, that you've soaked up and learnt from your family as a child, in that belief system will be a multitude of habits with which your relatives have adopted throughout their life as a survival mechanism to get them through life. Now, 95% of them are bad. You know, they will be procrastination, smoking, drinking, drugs, habits that are not going to get you anywhere in life. So the successful person will adopt good habits, or if he's got bad habits, he will change his belief system. So he will replace the bad habit with a good habit, okay? So if you look at the graph now, you can see the path that you're taking if you've got bad habits, as opposed to the progress you'll make if you adopt good habits. So it's all here on this graph. So have a look at this and I'll show you it.
Now this is the whole ethos behind Jeff Olson's The Slight Edge. Now in the middle, you've got a timeline of your life. Then you've got the bold black arrow that goes either down or up. And as you can see, 95% of people fail. They're never happy or content, and only 5% succeed for happiness and contentment. Now that is all due to lifestyle choices. Okay? Good choices, bad choices. So it's all down to habit choices, habit forming. When you're young, you adopt the belief system that's instilled in you from your parents and your relatives. Up until the age of about 14, you're literally brainwashed with whatever they were brainwashed with as youngsters. So whether that belief system is right or wrong, you will adopt it. You will soak it up like a sponge as a child. Now, the unsuccessful people, their lifestyle and their habits that they will adopt will be primarily bad habits. That's smoking, drinking, procrastinating, and their attitude, their philosophy is full of blame. They blame other people and outside forces for their lack of success. They neglect, they bury their head in the sand and don't deal with issues, and they have a sense of entitlement. The successful people, they take responsibility for their actions. They've got a disciplined, structured life, and they're value driven. That's the difference between the successful people and the unsuccessful people. Okay? Now, habit forming. When you adopt the habits that you are dealt as a youngster, like I said, the unsuccessful people, most of those habits are bad, but they're easy. They've got their family generations through life as a survival mechanism. But those habits, what's comfortable early becomes uncomfortable later. So those habits are generally based around instant gratification. So it's comfortable now. We'll have a beer, we'll have a fag, we'll do bugger all. Comfortable now, right? The end game, totally uncomfortable because you're bankrupt and unhappy. Successful people, they adopt the habits that are good habits, or they'll replace bad habits with good habits. But the unsuccessful people are too lazy to do that. The successful people will analyse their belief system, work out where they can change a bad habit for a good habit. Here we go. Look, what's uncomfortable early, changing your habit from a bad one to a good one, becomes comfortable later because you will achieve success in life and be happy and content. That's it. That's all it is. You've got the unsuccessful people and the successful people will basically have a lot of the same habits. Like you'll get unsuccessful people will read, but they'll read junk. They'll read nonsense, paraphernalia, fiction books, just rubbish. Whereas the successful people, they will read, but they will read only titles normally that are fact, knowledge, that will gain them knowledge and allow them to move forward in life. That's the difference. They will not digest anything into their subconscious that's dirge. They will only take into their subconscious that's going to allow them to grow. And that's the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people. And that is it in a nutshell. A good habit is easy to do. You're doing it in small stages, 1% every day, just chip away, right? But that habit you will not notice instantly. It will take years and years and a lifetime of adopting those good habits to get you the end result, which is success. Okay, so those habits, successful habits, they're easy to do, but they're also easy not to do. Bad habits. Bad habits are easy to do. That's the difference. Good habits are easy to do, but also easy not to do. And that's why unsuccessful people don't take on good habits. Because it's uncomfortable early on and then becomes comfortable. The unsuccessful person wants instant gratification. They want what's comfortable early because they can't see the end result. The end result is disaster. Let's take a diet, or smoking or drinking. One cigarette's not going to kill you, one drink's not going to kill you, one burger's not going to kill you, but a lifetime of living your life like that, and it will end badly for you. But they can't see that because you can't see the end result. If you were to eat a burger or have a drink or have a cigarette and have a massive heart attack as a result of that drink, that cigarette or that burger, you would never have a cigarette, a drink or a burger ever again. That would be enough of a shock. But you don't see the end result. It's just there. It will happen. It's inevitable because it's lifestyle choices that kill you. And it's the same as doing the good habits, adopting the good habits. The unsuccessful people can't see the end result. If they can't see it, they can't get instant gratification. If they can't see the end result, they're not interested. So they stick to their bad habits. So get the Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Listen to it. One awesome book. And it'll explain it a lot better than I've tried to do it, I should imagine.
Anyway, so takeaways from this: you need to get the Slight Edge, whether it's in audio book format or hard copy. The most awesome book I have listened to that explains in detail, in depth, in great depth, the power of compounding with your daily habits to enable you to achieve astronomical personal growth. It's a must listen. You have to get that. Anyway, it's a beautiful day. I'm going to be back at work in about 10 days. I'm not going back fully. I'm going to go back and ease into it and then gradually increase and see how my body goes. Next week, I'm going to start up in the driving I'm doing, and I'm going to start lifting the hose reels in and out the back of the van to see how I get on with that. But yeah, I'm hoping to get back to work in about 10 days. What a beautiful day. Look at this. I haven't seen the sunshine much for about 5 or 6 weeks now. So I'm quite looking forward to getting out there. A bit, anxious of it. But anyway, so the Slight Edge, you have to get it. Absolutely phenomenal book, and explains the power of compounding used throughout your whole life, not just in a financial form.
One last thing, this is my key takeaway from the book that I recently read and recommended, How to Own the World by Andrew Craig. And he recommended this magazine that I have now subscribed to. It's a damn sight cheaper than the Financial Times, and it hasn't got a lot of fluff and bluster in it like the Financial Times. It's geared solely towards us investors. So I hope you found what I've put in this video interesting, and I can't wait to do the next one. See you later.